Right now, though, we are talking all about the increasing popularity of the women's game. More evidence of the huge impact of the Lionesses' success has been released today, with participation and attendances in the women's game up as a result of England's Euros win this summer. It isn't just on the pitch where change is taking place. Our reporter Anton Tluy joins us now. We've got details, haven't we, on how the players are directly trying to bring about change themselves, which they've been campaigning from since the second that the whistle went, almost.
Pretty much, yeah. Literally the day afterwards. When they were a little bit hungover, when the nation was a little bit hungover after that Euro success, on the way to Trafalgar Square for that huge celebration, the players, led by Lotte Wubben-Moy, had a big discussion about, right, how do we capitalise on this moment and make the game better for people trying to play the game right now? And they penned a letter to the then prime ministerial candidates about trying to get equal access to girls' football within schools in England. And that's a campaign they certainly haven't dropped since we saw them have a conversation with then Prime Minister Liz Truss. It was Lotte Wubben-Moy, England captain Leah Williamson and Baroness Campbell back in October. But obviously with the change in government, change in education Secretary, England wanted to keep those talks going on. We heard from Lauren Hemp earlier, didn't we, saying that she wants to make sure that the players' voice is being heard and being championed for good. Well, we can confirm that those talks have continued, despite the fact there's been, like I said, the change in government. That Lotte Wubben-Moy and Leah Williamson and Baroness Campbell met with the Education Secretary and officials from the Department of Education earlier this month to keep Let Girls Play campaign on the front foot. And you've got to remember the figures are quite startling in some ways. Only 63% of girls have access to play football within schools in England. Only 1 in 5 girls between the age of 5 and 18 play the nation's most popular sport once a week in England. So, there's obviously a lot of improvement that can be done. And like I said, the players not giving up on this just yet.
Definitely not. And there's been such a huge interest in viewing, which will then hopefully translate into young females and everybody wanting to try and actually just get out and play. And these details that the FA have released with the numbers and the growth are quite staggering, and it's looking good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really encouraging, isn't it? As you can see, look, let's crunch some of these numbers, shall we? Like a 21% increase in the number of female registered referees, for example, across all levels this season. You've got plenty of other indicators that the game is growing. If we roll on, you'll be able to see that, like I said, attendances are up 227% this time last season. And look, we saw, the Manchester Derby, 44,000. We saw, the Emirates, 47,000 earlier this season. We've seen Anfield, the big crowd for the Merseyside Derby. We've seen the number of people attending games. We've seen a 15% increase in the number of registered youth football, female youth football teams as well. And that's just in the last 6 months alone. So the impact of the Euros is clearly being felt, which is really, really encouraging. But like you said, it's also the number of people watching as well. You go back to the Euros, nearly 575,000 people attended games alone. A lot of people would have gone to their first ever women's game during the Euros and clearly thoroughly enjoyed it. 23.3 million people watched the Euros final alone at Wembley in the UK. And that's 3 million more than watched the men's World Cup final, a few days ago. So again, it shows the impact it's having, as we're going to see tonight. We're going to see England's, the UK's first ever sports personality of the year from a female footballer perspective. Your Beth Mead will join the likes of Bobby Moore, David Beckham, Michael Owen, Paul Gascoigne after Italia 90. Those are the England footballers that won it in the past. It's almost certain that it will be Beth Mead tonight. All the Lionesses, apart from the ones playing for Arsenal tonight in the Champions League, are going to probably be there in attendance. They're going to make the most of it as well. The Lionesses very much taken over. But like I said, the FA releasing key statistics showing the game growing exponentially in the last 6 months alone.
Anton, yes, thank you very much indeed.